I like my food local, wanna know where my cows have been. I like my food local, wanna know my fish swam up a stream. I like my food local, wanna know that
My name is Hanspetermeyer, and today I'm talking to Marla, and I'm going to have to ask her to say her last name because I don't quite get the pronunciation right. And we're in the kitchen and the dining room area at Nature's Way Farm. So, hi Marla.
Hi Hans, how are you doing?
I'm good. How do you say your last name?
For Canadians, it would be Limousin. So like the cattle, like the car. Say it.
Limousin.
If you want to be French, you could say Limousin.
Limousin. Okay, so I'm talking to Marla Limousin here in Courtenay, just outside of Courtenay, at Nature's Way Farm, also the site for Blue Moon Winery. Marla's been quite involved in our local agricultural scene, very involved since she and George moved here 9 years ago. Last year, they were part of the Flavour event, which is what we're talking about today, primarily. Why did you get involved in Flavour?
Flavour, I'm glad I got involved with it first. It was such a fantastic event. Flavour event was something that a lot of the producers, like wineries specifically, we were trying to figure out for many, many years, and some of the farms, how we bring an event here, kind of like a Feast of Fields event, how we bring something here to the valley to showcase everything that we've got, this whole magnificence of our valley. And then North Island College came along with the foundation and had really energetic people that, researched and knew what they were doing and pulled off this most magnificent place where all the vendors, producers, retailers could go and interact with community and be community, which was fantastic.
So what value is that to you as Nature's Way Farm or as Blue Moon Winery?
Nature's Way Farm and Blue Moon Winery, we have two different booths there. Mm-hmm. First of all, it's, I guess, part of being part of our community. The Comox Valley is just such an amazing place to do business. It's amazing to collaborate. We collaborate with chefs, with other wineries. Our valley is one that works together. So to have a flavors event, it really shows this cooperation and collaboration, and everyone puts out the best that they have to offer. So people that come to this flavors event just see this most magnificent place with great flavors and great people.
What brought you to the Comox Valley?
Failed real estate deal on the Mount Washington. I think what we were looking for, we lived in the high Arctic for many, many, many years. We decided that we were going to move south because we had 2 children and we wanted to raise them in the south. We said, do we go east or west? East that year meant Halifax, and it was the year of the ice storm in Halifax. So it was like, no, we don't want any more snow in our lives. So we ended up on Salt Spring Island. We bought 5 acres there. We thought we would farm there. Problem with our site there was saline intrusion, a lot of salt water. And we started coming up to Mount Washington to ski. And with 2 boys, we were, here for a long time. And we decided that we'll buy a condo on the hill. But the real estate agent at the time wasn't returning any of our calls. So George went on MLS and he found this organic blueberry farm and he presented to me and said, what do you think? I said, are you crazy? And I started thinking about it and thought, wow, it's not so crazy after all. We can grow, our kids can know what's going on, we could be self-sufficient, and we could have just an amazing little piece of paradise in the Comox Valley. It was kind of the time where it wasn't that exposed yet. People were just starting to kind of move to the valley. So a week later I said, hey, let's go look at it. And he said, are you crazy? And I said, let's just go look at it. And we fell in love. We fell in love with the big maple tree in the back. Mm-hmm. And the idea of growing blueberries was a very romantic kind of thing. And when we came to the farm, there was all sorts of beautiful salad mixes and strawberries and seasonal vegetables. And we just fell in love with the idea of growing. and feeding people and having high quality food that was so beautiful. Just having the ability to be part of community.
But you said that that the reason you're able to stay here and do this is you work off the farm, and you've had to develop value-added products. So can you talk a bit about how you've made the farm work for you?
Yeah, I think there's only one farm that I know that people can make money off of just pure farming, and we have 2 boys that play hockey and are in all sorts of activities, so there's a cost that goes with children. We've made it work because George has become the full-time farmer and the full-time winemaker on the winery and farm. I continue to work in the Arctic and continue to work with some First Nations in BC, which I love to work with, right? I love to do cultural work, and I love to do landscape architecture, which is what I am. So I don't get to miss the north because I go there 4 times a year. That income helps support the farm. We hire all local people to work on the farm. We hire a lot of young people want to work on the farm. We believe we pay them a decent wage. And in the summer, at our peak time when we're picking 30,000 pounds of blueberries, we hire a lot of local people from our valley that can't be employed any other way. So we have this great summer energy on the farm with people who really want to be here, which is nice.
Now you're also involved in extracurricular activities that are related to farming. So can you tell me a bit about the Women's Institute that you recently got involved with?
Yeah, the Women's Institute, it's just a beautiful old historic institute that was created at the same time the Farmers Institute was created. And the idea of the Women's Institute was to allow a place where women can be share, a place of sharing, I guess, of education and caring and knowledge.
Now this had relevance at a time when Canada was mostly rural, and rural women were very isolated, but what relevance does it have today?
We're still, in our valley, we're really rural, and what we've got this resurgence of people wanting to come back to the farm. Look at me, I'm middle-aged, my husband, we're both middle-aged, we came back to the farm. The young people at 20 to 30, most of the people that are farming with us, they're 20 to 30 years old. So the Women's Institute felt that there's this big gap in loss of knowledge. My mother was, woman's liber. She was out working. She wasn't passing on that information to us. We still have an older population that remembers how to do things, and what we're trying to do is be that vehicle that captures that knowledge and then imparts it to this next generation that really wants to be self-sustaining and really wants to grow for themselves and really wants to have that knowledge that a generation has lost, basically. So we're lucky that in the Women's Institute, we have the 70, 80-year-olds, 90-year-olds, and we have these young people that are joining membership. So rurally, it's still really, really applicable to the knowledge that we all need to be able to grow food.
Right, and that's what it comes down to, is growing food, and growing food that's really delicious. So at Flavour, farms pair with chefs to do things. Do you know who Nature's Way is working with this year?
Yes, we work with Gaëtan Pollardi, who is a chef, and she's also Island Gourmet Trails. And we conjure up this great thing with seasonal fruit, which usually at that time is our blueberries. And we'll not tell you what we're going to do this year, but it'll be something really special. She's a chef at the farm. She brings groups here too on tours, and she does a lot of our private dining events, so we're really happy to work with her over the years and get to know her and her style. She also has cooking classes at the farm once a month. In the morning it's in French, and then in the afternoon it's in English, but it's all French cuisine.
Right.
So that's
I was here for one of those. It was quite lovely. I thought I was coming for a French one. I don't have any French. I have what I call milk carton French. So I was actually looking forward to learning something, and I didn't. But the food was great, and Gaetan is really just a lovely presence.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for making the time, Marla.
Yeah, thanks.
And I am looking forward to seeing what you and Gaetan cook up for Flavour.
Good.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks.
I've known Marla for a number of years, but it's like today is the first time we've actually sat and chatted like we did before this interview. So you're getting a little snippet of that. Thank you. Thank you for that.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Okay. And thank you for watching, and I hope you get to see Flavour.
Fish swam up a stream. I like my food local. I know that my hens can roam. I like my food to come from my home. I got enough hormones in me. I don't need any more. I wanna know the folks who run my local store. Don't want no E. coli. I just want what's right there. I wanna know what's on my plate was treated